Welcome to Powerful Women Rising, the podcast for female entrepreneurs playing by their own rules and growing their businesses their way. Join business relationship strategist and your host, Melissa Snow, as she brings you practical perspectives and candid conversations. Each episode guides you to make smarter decisions and take bold action as you build a business that's both profitable and aligned. Because the world is a better place when powerful women rise together.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Powerful Women Rising podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Snow, and this is the second in a series of interviews that I am doing with winners of the 2025 Powerful Women Rising Impact Awards. If you're not familiar with Powerful Women Rising, let me tell you a little bit about me and about the company. We do several different things. We have an online connection network, which is basically networking for female entrepreneurs who hate traditional networking. We are all about creating genuine connections, showing up authentically, and no salesy weirdo behaviors allowed. So we are not performing. We are not pretending to be perfect. We are not pitching at every turn. We are truly just creating genuine connections with each other, finding ways to provide value and support one another. And it is an awesome community. If that sounds fun to you, definitely click the link in the show notes and check it out. We also have a growth mastermind and a premium mastermind for business owners who are tired of figuring out everything alone and want to tap into the collective expertise of a group of experienced, diverse business owners and find ways to move forward together rather than staying stuck. And we also do the annual Powerful Women Rising Impact Awards. These awards were created to celebrate women in business who often go unnoticed and uncelebrated. I noticed in the world of entrepreneurship, we are very quick to celebrate revenue. We want to celebrate you when you hit 6 figures and 7 figures and 8 figures. We want to celebrate you when you double your income, when you triple your income, when your videos go viral, when you reach 10,000 subscribers or 20,000 followers. But there are other ways to measure success in entrepreneurship, and that's why we created these awards. We wanted to celebrate women who are truly making a difference in their community, in their industry, with their clients, with their peers, who are lifting other women up, who epitomize the values of Powerful Women Rising, and who are truly making a difference in the world. So today I am interviewing 3 of those women. The first is Teresa Romain. She is the winner of the Active Impact Award. Also, Durning, Coach of the Year, and Meredith Dewald, Virtual Assistant of the Year. Today's episode is called Sustainable Business Growth Without Burnout, and these 3 women don't just talk about it, they truly live it in 3 very different ways. Teresa has spent nearly 3 decades helping people step out of scarcity and chronically striving for more. What makes her impact so powerful is that her abundance mindset isn't just something she teaches, it's how she shows up. She's been a member of the Powerful Women Rising Premium Mastermind since its inception, and I have been so honored to witness the depth and presence and grounded calm that she brings to every space that she's in. People truly feel different just by being around her. Caitlin was recognized as Coach of the Year because of the way that she coaches, with integrity, empathy, and 0 ego. The people who nominated her said that she listens deeply, challenges thoughtfully, and creates space for her clients to find their own answers and their own confidence instead of handing them a one-size-fits-all formula. And then there's Meredith. I can attest firsthand that Meredith is the kind of virtual assistant every business owner dreams of. She doesn't just manage tasks, she anticipates needs, creates systems, automations, and brings order to chaos in a way that gives her clients time, clarity, and more breathing room. Her work truly makes sustainable growth possible behind the scenes. In this conversation, we're talking about what it looks like to grow a business in a way that is grounded, human, and sustainable, without burning yourself out, without committing to hustle culture, and without white-knuckling your way through to success. Let's dive in. Hello, ladies. Welcome to the Powerful Women Rising podcast.
Hello. Great to be here.
Yeah, so excited to have you. Teresa, this is your second time on the podcast, I think. I had you on years ago.
Yes. Remember.
You were with Amy and Lindsay Lee, and we were talking.
Yes, then about the Powerful Women Rising community. Yes.
It was so memorable. She doesn't even know she did it. In your defense, it was time ago.
So much has happened since
I know. We each have been like 4 different people since then. Okay, so let's jump into today. I'm really excited. You guys don't know each other. Presumably the listeners don't know you either. So I want to give you a moment to introduce yourselves, tell everybody a little bit about you, and then we'll jump into some juicy stuff. So Caitlin, let's hear from you first. You are the winner of the Coach of the Year award. So tell everybody a little bit about you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. So my name's Caitlin. I own Meraki Media Management, which is a marketing agency. We specialize in social media management, specifically in the organic realm of content creation. And I also coach women, business coach, consult in marketing, how to expand communities. And I've been doing that really since I started, because I actually launched courses before I became a social media manager. That was back before 2020 when nobody wanted to hire out social media yet. So that's kind of a little bit of my story arc too.
That's awesome. I want to share something from one of the nominations, because when we did these awards, we had people nominate people, and then we took the top people from each category and people voted on theirs. And one of the nominations that was submitted for you said, she has a rare gift of making you feel deeply seen, supported, and safe from the moment you sit down with her. And I love that so much, especially considering, like, when I read that, I was like, oh, she must be a life coach or, something like that. And the fact that you are doing like business and social media and marketing, and you're still finding a way to make people feel like that, I think is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's so awesome. Yeah. So Meredith, let's go to you next. Tell everybody about yourself.
Hi. Well, I'm a virtual assistant, and I work with business owners getting their systems going and figuring out, hey, I've got this idea. How do we do it? How do we implement it? Fixing the back end, working with their clients, building out sites, moving platforms a lot lately. Yeah, I love being behind the scenes. So.
Yeah. I had to pay her actually to do this podcast interview. Okay, so I didn't cheat, I swear, but Meredith is my VA. And I'm only saying that because I need to add to what she just said. She is not a VA. She is so many other things. I told her a long time ago, I'm like, why don't you just become a business coach? And she's like, because then I'd have to be on camera. I was like, okay, fair. But Meredith is like, she will get this stuff done, but she also is the kind of assistant that will say, like, I don't know if this is the best idea, or I think that's a good idea, but it would really work a lot better if we did it this way. And if I'm like, no, we're still doing it that way, she's like, okay, whatever you want. But she's like a strategic partner almost. Like, we think about things together, we figure stuff out together. There's a lot of times that I'm like, I just told her the other day, I'm like, I know this is supposed to be the other way around, me telling you what to do, but I have ADHD and I have 5,000 things in my brain. And can you just tell me the 3 things that need to be done this week? And she's like, yes, I will. So she is like, she's just so much more than a VA. She's like essential support for your business. And I love her so much. Speaking of people I love so much, let's go to Teresa.
So I am Teresa Romain, and I have been what has been called, my clients gave me the name, an abundance coach for more than 30 years. Caveat. I'm also the poster child for you teach best what you most need to learn and keep practicing yourself. So that's me. And what it took me almost 25 years to learn, where I would do my own abundance mindset stuff, and I'd get out of debt, and I'd help my clients get out of debt and help them make more money and all of this. And yet I noticed that the pressure and the frustration and the sense of not enough, and I always have to do more, and it has to be bigger, like it never went away. And what I finally discovered over the past 3 years, Melissa, you've been part of my journey, is because the model we have for abundance in our world that dominates our world is really built on and in reaction to scarcity. And it keeps us in this trap. I call it the abundance trap, where we think more, doing more, being more efficient, achieving more, making more. All of that is going to give us this experience of wholeness and life and well-being and freedom we long for. And we just keep chasing it, and we don't know how to live in it. And so my work is really about liberating people from that trap and giving them a new model for their relationship with money, for abundance, so that they can start living in it now and let all that pressure of gotta do more, like let that go.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you explained it that way, because there are so many different definitions of abundance out there, as you know, and you and I have talked about many times. I was just yesterday helping a friend who runs a networking group sift through speaker applications. And there were so many people who submitted applications for things like, increase your abundance, turn your fear into abundance, more abundance this year. And all of the ones that I read, it was all like abundance means more, right? Let me show you how to make more money. Let me show you how to call more money in. Let me show you how to get more of what you want. And I kept thinking about you because I'm like, Teresa has changed the word abundance for me forever.
Yep. And how often abundance is like money.
Yeah.
Like,
and more and more and more of it.
And more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Teresa, I'm going to stay with you for a second because I love the fact that your award was the Active Impact Award. And basically what that was an award that went to someone who was engaged and active, who shows up in conversations, events, online spaces with energy and enthusiasm and dedication and inspires other people. And what we were looking for really was not just somebody who is in all of the places, but what was the impact that she was making in the spaces that she was in? And I especially love that you won this award because you've had quite a journey when it comes to networking and showing up in spaces. And I would love for you to just talk a little bit about that experience and what that has been like for you and kind of how you interpret this award.
Oh, we could go on. I'll keep it concise. When I first came into Melissa's world, it was because I knew networking was like my weak spot. It was my growth area. And it brought up all my fears, but it also brought up all my scarcity because I had this belief I wasn't making a lot of money at the time. It was going through a hard time financially. And so the only way I thought I could like support others is if I bought their products or I went to their events and there was like money. And so I was living in this, I can't support others. And if I can't support others, then I'm not going to show up because then they know I can't support them. And then they're going to think I'm not an abundance coach, right? And so, that was what your community and others helped me see that that's not the only way to show up and support. And so I started to see like, wow, I could just show up and my energy supports, or I could show up and just share my experience and it supports. Like, oh, I don't have to do anything and I don't have to be a certain way and I can make a difference if I'm just like have that commitment to show up and serve, which I'm a generator in human design. So that works for me. So that's what I've been doing. No big deal. I'm not on social media a lot. I'm not out there like growing this massive network. And then I get this award. And my first thought was, one, I laughed and I went, well, so much for my idea of not enough. Because clearly, somehow, I'm doing something. And the other thing I celebrated is that I was honored that I got the award, and I didn't care that I got the award. And what I mean by that is in the past, I would have used the fact that I got an award as proof and evidence, and look at how good I am and what the impact I'm having. It would have been like to prove I was enough. And it was just really a great gift for me to realize how much I'd grown and healed, that I could be honored by it. I could be a little surprised by it, but I didn't have any of that like, look at what it means about me. And I think that's the gift this award has been for me. Like, first of all, like, I don't know how I'm having impact and I don't have to. And I don't need to prove my worth like I used to either.
Yeah. Yeah. And that totally tracks with what everyone who nominated you said. The word authenticity came up over and over again, right? That she is showing up, like when she shows up, she is deeply present. She's listening. She's asking good questions. She is being honest about who she is. She is showing that abundance isn't just something that she teaches, but it's how she lives. And I think that really is the impact that you've had on people, is showing them that there is a way to network that allows you to stay in integrity and be authentic and not feel like you have to be more and be perfect and do all the things for all of the people. And I think that's awesome.
Thanks.
Let's go back to Caitlin, because I want to stay on this kind of same track. I think I went back and forth with the whole Coach of the Year award. I almost didn't even include it when I first started these awards because I have such an interesting relationship with coaching for someone who has been a coach for a while. But one of the things I really wanted to make sure of is that the people we were recognizing as Coach of the Year were people who really understood the true essence of coaching. People that were operating with integrity, who were committed to helping their clients, and who weren't just the Instagram coaches, right? The like, look at me on my private jet and I made $5 billion just laying by the pool because I got all of you suckers to believe that I knew what I was doing. So talk to me a little bit about your experience as a coach and how that all resonates for you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing the taboo of coaching, because it took me a while to even take on that type of title. And even internally, like I will share it on the smaller scale. So this award definitely made me think differently about this year for myself. I like to approach coaching in a very intuitive way in the client's lens. So I like to just ask questions. I think of my coaching more as a facilitator of conversation to help the client understand what feels most aligned for them. For example, I've had clients that have come to me, think that they want to start a digital marketing agency. We have a few meetings and we walk through what it's going to look like. After meeting 3, they're like, you know what? I don't want to be doing this at all. I think I just want a career. And then I'm able to help them on that. Okay, what does this next career look like? Is it a pivot? And that's been really helpful for me as well, seeing that we don't need to follow someone else's intuition, someone else's path in order to get to where we want to go. We have all the answers within. And that's just been a core belief of mine for the past few years now. And that's how I like to apply coaching. I also feel more empowered for the client. Instead of them coming and asking me questions, I wouldn't want to send them in a direction that doesn't resonate with them. I will still give tactical strategy. I'll make that clear for like marketing, but I don't tell them exactly what to do. I always ask, does this feel like that would work for you? Or is this something that you'd like to do? Because if it's not something we would like to do, we probably won't do it. And then the business never grows. So
yeah, that resonates. And it also sounds very much like Meredith's approach to helping other business owners. I think I'm going to go to you next, Meredith, because I think it's when we think about virtual assistants, we think of people who are like behind the scenes helping other business owners. And yes, that's what you're doing, but you're also like, I don't know, I can only speak from my own experience. It's almost like half this business is yours, right? Like we're building this business together. It's not like I'm building this business and Meredith's back here like doing the things. It's like we're both probably to an extreme. I'm always like, hey, we got another client. She's like, okay, it's 11 o'clock at night. Go to sleep. But let's talk a little bit about kind of your philosophy and how you see your role as a virtual assistant.
Yeah, well, of course, it's a smaller part of the business than if I was like in an office space, which I spent years doing that. I was a business manager at a university. But if you are going for more than just the like, hey, will you go schedule these emails, or will you go, fix this thing on the website real quick, and actually want a strategy partner, then yeah, it's going to be more of a pump me with my business type of relationship. And I am very invested in what my clients are doing and their businesses and they're growing. I don't want to work with somebody that I feel icky about, Yeah. And so most of my clients happen to be entrepreneurs who have some form of ADHD, whether it's official or just kind of, yeah, I think so. So there is a lot of like idea stuff. And then I'm the one that comes in and comes up with how we're actually going to structure the thing that makes it work. But
yeah, absolutely.
Did I answer?
Yeah, you did. What do you think it is that, I mean, you touched on it a little bit, but you've been a VA for how long now?
I've been I started doing VA work back in 2020, when the pandemic was just starting. And I was like, okay, I don't want to go back to an office. I was moving. And a friend of mine was like, hey, I think you'd be an awesome VA. Have you looked at this? I don't even know what that is. So looked into it, got a few clients, started with skills that I had already, but weren't necessarily like big VA skills, and just built as I went along. And so you don't have to start knowing Kajabi and Kit, which used to be ConvertKit, and MailChimp. You just start with the skills you have, get curious, and you build them from there.
Yeah. I feel like that's how all of us started our businesses, right? Yeah. I know for you, Teresa, it was a lot of like, well, talk about how you started your business, or how did you like even get into this? Because I know it came from a lot of personal experience.
Through the quagmire of my own scarcity. I mean, I left the corporate world and my 6-figure job because I didn't love it. And I was going to start a network marketing business with my husband, and we were going to do it full time, and we were going to be making money in it. And we spent money to make money and went to all the trainings. And like I always say, a year and a half after going at it full time, as newlyweds too, so maybe it wasn't full time. The only thing that was growing exponentially was not our income, it was our debt. And it was that quagmire of the debt, but also the fact that on paper, Dan and I should have been wildly successful at that business. I mean, we had all the skills, we had all of this, and we weren't. Well, then that was frustrating. And then, of course, I didn't want anybody to know it because everybody expected us to succeed. So then I go into patterns of hiding and acting like we're successful, spend more money, have more debt. And finally, I just got to a point, there has to be something that I'm missing, that this isn't working. And when the student is ready, teachers appear. And I first learned a system for getting out of debt, kind of like Dave Ramsey does now. This was before Dave Ramsey, and other principles. And I just literally, my scarcity has just continued to be my teacher. And like, got to work on the internals. Oh, got to do this, got to do this. And I did all of those things. I made more money. I spent less money. I did mindset. I did all of that. But like I said at the beginning, and yet I never had that sense of I can just be and relax and enjoy my life. There was always have to do more. And that's when I started to see it's the model we have. It's going to keep us in scarcity, always chasing. And so that's when my work, again, my scarcity led me. And that's why I say now to all my clients, scarcity is not a problem to fix.
Yeah.
It's an invitation and catalyst for healing and growth. And that's how I work with people, because the abundance we want and that we need to grow and thrive is already available for us. We may not see it. We may not know how to access it. We may not know how to utilize it in ways that support us to grow and thrive, but it's there. And so when you can pull away that scarcity, then it's like you're open to it.
Yeah. That's really good. I actually love that the three of you ended up on an interview together. I didn't really even do that on purpose, but I love that Teresa is so focused on like the mindset and the perspective and the shifts that make such a big difference. And Meredith is so focused on like the action and the doing of the things. And then Caitlin is like a little bit of both. And I feel like it's all what we need as business owners. Like I came from the coaching world where everything was your thoughts, right? So if you're not making money, it's because of your thoughts. If you signed up for my $10,000 program and it didn't work for you, it's because of your thoughts. If you are, whatever it is, you need to do more thought work. You need to think differently about it. There was no like strategy. There was no like, let's talk about how you're marketing. Let's talk about your offer. It was just like, you probably need to think better. And then I went to the whole other extreme of like, who cares what I think? I just need to do the things. And now I've landed somewhere back here in the middle with all three of you of like, okay, yes, how I'm thinking about this is important. And also doing the things is important. Does that resonate with you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. And I just have to add, because I do this, it's like, and the bottom line message you keep getting when either is working, when it's the strategies aren't working or your thinking's wrong or whatever, is the message that keeps getting reinforced is something's wrong with me and I'm not enough. And if I was to say anything else about my work, it's like, no, nothing's wrong with you. It's not that you're not enough. The model you have isn't going to give you what you want.
Yeah. Were you going to add something, Meredith?
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I started We'll have a Slack space I set up for each of my clients so we can communicate and throw ideas and, oh, this is working, that's not. But I started a brain dump channel because there needed to be a space where you come in with an idea and it not be an assignment, it not be a new project necessarily, but just like, I have this idea. I don't know what to do with it. How do we implement it? And then I can come in and go, okay, well, we could do XYZ with our current system, or, this other plan for it. We might need to bring in another platform or a weird Zapier integration or something like that. But, just talking back and forth and then deciding, okay, well, let's implement it in a month, 4 months, whatever. Or, yeah, that's no, not going to do it. Let's just table it.
Yeah.
But somewhere to talk about the actual implementation without it being a stressor or this thing that's just like bouncing around in your head while you've got the other clients to deal with and to serve it. So.
Yeah.
Such a good point. I was just going to share as well what you both are talking about and what the theme of today has been. It's almost like when I first got into business, I had created a jail cell for myself. It almost mimicked the exact job that I left, if not working triple the amount of time that I was working before for somebody else. And I realized how much I was constricting, the growth through a lot of the core beliefs that so many other people were talking about at that time. It's your thoughts, it's you're the problem. And when I was able to strip that away, that's what I felt like was expansive. Like then I could feel my intuition. I'm like, this is fun, this can be fun. It should be fun. Marketing should be fun. So I feel the same way. And I think that if we can hold space for others, that are experiencing that, what a gift, that doesn't even feel like work anymore. That just feels like more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all great advice on all three of your parts. The last question I want to ask you before we wrap up, and I'm going to ask each of you this, is for anyone who is listening to this podcast who maybe is new in business or they're struggling, something's not working, they're not getting consistent traction, they're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated or whatever it is, they don't know how to get to the next level. What's a piece of advice that you would give them, or what's something that you wish that you would have known? Any of you can go first.
Well, I could give a few, but here would be mine. It's okay to pare down while you're growing something. So what I mean by that is, instead of like thinking you got to act like you're successful and thinking you're more than what you are, it's okay in service of your business, your growth, your well-being to say, hey, let's maybe pare down our lifestyle, take the pressure off my business financially, and get clear on what your nut is. That's what I call it, your nut. Like, this is the minimal amount. If my business could make this much a month, we're good. We're good. And see if you can have that nut be as small as it can, because then you can feel like, okay, I can do this. And you're not in that financial pressure, scarcity, proving, all of that. And then the second piece of it is, once you've done it, let's say your net is $500 or $1,000, I don't care, $1,000, and you did it. Yay, I made $1,000. Do not raise the goal. One of the biggest mistakes I made and I see people make is, as soon as we achieve a goal, we want to raise it. And I know firsthand that what you have to learn to achieve a goal is very different than what you need to learn to continue to sustain it. So if your nut is $1,000, then have a goal of $1,000 or more. And when you make it, celebrate it. And then have that same goal for the next month and the next month and the next month, and do that for 4, 5, 6 months. Let that be very solid. And then if you want to or need to go for more, then set a new goal. But this like upward and onward, don't do that. Let it gel like a Jell-O salad. Let it gel. And then add a layer if you want.
That is really great advice. And I'm so glad you said that, because it goes against so much of the like business experts' advice out there that is like more and more and more and more. You did that. Yay. Let's double it next month. Let's triple it next month. And
talk about perpetuating a sense of not enough.
Right. No kidding. No kidding. And nothing is less motivating than a feeling of not enough, for sure. Caitlin, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I would say, I did not understand that entrepreneurship when I was 22 years old getting into this journey would cause me to look at all of the parts of myself that maybe weren't working so well. And I don't know that I would have done it, to be very transparent, if I did know the depths of my soul that would come out throughout this journey. So to anybody just starting, look at this as a gift to your family, your friends, the people around you. This experience has changed my life for the better. It's allowed my relationships to deepen, even my relationship with my puppy. I look at everything differently now. So I would say give yourself this gift and keep going, because even if you have that slow month, as Teresa mentioned, it has nothing to do with you. Maybe the slow month is happening, so you can do the personal work. My business tends to mimic exactly what's coming up in my life. And now I try not to question it. I just lean into it.
Yeah. Do you think you could ever go back to working a 9-to-5 for someone else?
That's a great question. Of course, like many entrepreneurs, I've applied because scarcity, just like to be very transparent. I think if it's the right person and they respect boundaries and we have a mutual relationship, beneficial relationship, yes. But that is sometimes challenging to find in modern day workforce. So I would prefer to keep working for myself because it really is such a gift.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to go back. I started working part-time at Starbucks about 6 months ago, mostly so I could get health insurance benefits. And I was like, it'll be fine. Like, there was so much that I didn't think about. And my first week there, I remember telling my boss, I'm like, I cannot tell you how long it's been since I actually had to be somewhere on time.
Yes.
Like, even when you make plans with your friend, right? It's like, let's meet for lunch at 11. But if I'm there at 11:03, no one cares. If I'm clocking in at 11:03, Starbucks cares. And that was a lot to get used to. Like, you're not wearing the right pants. Are your shoes waterproof? Don't forget to say hello to every customer who comes through the door. Why weren't you clocked in a minute ago? Like, I actually love my job, so it's not as terrible as I'm making it sound. But there was just so much that I was like, and dealing with other people and the dynamics. And last week we had a mandatory store meeting that was 3 hours long with like role plays and games and like all of the corporate things that you're like, I forgot about this 3-hour meeting that could have been a really short email. So hard to go back. Yes, not impossible. Meredith, what about you? What advice would you give to other business owners?
Give yourself space to experiment and play. Especially, and I see this a lot with younger VAs, is they think they have to niche really fast and like pick their specialty. It's like, no, your business is going to change. What you specialize in is going to evolve and change. And there's just so much space out there. There's so many different types of clients. I've worked with a lot of coaches, but then I've worked with photographers and real estate people, like all kinds of stuff. So there's space to grow, and you don't have to lock in immediately.
Yeah, that's really good too, because we obsess about that, especially in the beginning, because that's what we're told to do, right? And I think every business owner I know has gone through so many iterations of like, this is who I am and this is who I help. And a lot of times where we end up is not all where we were planning to end up. And I see for so many people, like, I don't care what you think your niche is going to find you. Like by the time my first business was a dating and relationship coaching business. And I initially thought I was going to be I started out wanting to work with women who were attracting the same kind of man over and over again. By the end of my business, I was working almost exclusively with women who were like late 40s to late 60s, who had been married for a long time, who had been divorced for a long time, now wanted to get back out there and date, but it was a very different world than it was when they were 22 and met their husbands. And that's like and I don't even know how that happened, right? It's like Meredith and the ADHDers, like we just find her and then we keep finding her and then we keep sending our people to her. And so, yeah, sometimes like you don't have to be quite so uptight about your niche because it's going to find you and you're going to figure it out the more you put yourself out there and just keep moving forward. Absolutely. Okay. So if people want to know more about what you guys do, I mean, if you were to ask me my business advice, I would just say hire probably all three of these people. So if you would like to take my advice, or if you'd just like to know them a little bit better, be in their circle, see what's going on with them. Teresa, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
The best way would be to go to my website, teresaromain.com. There's a contact form if you wanted to connect. There's resources there. Facebook is my second, and or YouTube channel. YouTube channel and Facebook are my only social media, and still probably my website is the best place.
Yeah, I agree. Your website is amazing. It's
the new one. The new one's going to be released next week.
I can't wait for that. I have always loved your website because it's so interactive and it's so you. Like, I know it's a good website when I know the person and then I see the website and I'm like, oh yeah, this is like, it's hard sometimes to translate a whole person into a website, and you do a great job. So I'm excited.
Well, I think the new one will then surprise you because in creating it, I realized how much my old ones were still like what I need to be, what I should be. And this one is 100% me.
Ooh,
so it's very different.
I can't wait. So the new website will be out by the time this podcast launches. So everyone has to check it out. Caitlin, how can people connect with you?
Yay. I'm excited to see, Teresa, your new website. I will definitely be following up. My website is Meraki, Meraki Media Management. And that's also with underscores on Instagram. That's a great place to come see me, slide in the DMs. I'm always just happy to chat. And yeah, would love to connect with everybody.
Awesome. Yeah. Our guests get really excited when people find them on Instagram and then send them a message and say, I heard you on this podcast. So if you're listening, definitely go send these ladies a message and tell them that you heard them on this podcast. It's always, I don't know, even after doing this podcast for years, I still feel like I'm just chatting away and I don't know if anyone's actually listening other than my mom and like one random person in Africa. And then people are like, oh, I love that podcast episode. I'm like, oh, you're listening? That's so fun. Meredith, how can people connect with you?
Well, they can go to my website. It's dglassvirtual.com. Also, Melissa, you've been tagging me like crazy over on Threads and Instagram lately. So you can find me there. I think you've actually been using Coffee Shop Chic, which is my personal handle. I respond to that, or Glass Virtual. So yeah, whatever you want to do to find me that way as well. It's great.
I have somehow cultivated my Threads home screen to be like, it's all either I'm an entrepreneur and I'm looking to connect with other female entrepreneurs. And like, great, let me tell you how. Or like, does anyone know how I'm looking for someone to help me move from this platform to this platform? Or I'm so overwhelmed and I need to like, it's every single post is either like Taylor Swift, cats, someone who needs Melissa, or someone who needs Meredith. So follow me for more tips on how to carefully curate your Threads algorithm. Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much. Thank you for being on this podcast. Thank you for the work that you're doing in the world. I love these awards because I get to meet and connect with some of the coolest people. And I love being able to honor you guys for the work that you're doing that I think a lot of times goes under the radar and unrealized. And all three of you are just making such a massive impact in the world and with your clients. And I appreciate you guys so much.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. Nice to meet you, Caitlin, and see a face to your name, Meredith.
Yeah, thank you for coming up with this idea a couple of years ago, Melissa. Because I think this was one of the brain dump channel items.
Yeah, well, thanks for making it happen.
Thank you so much. This has been so great.
That's a wrap on this week's episode of Powerful Women Rising. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're looking for a fun, consistent, low-pressure way to meet other women in business and create more visibility, leads, and momentum, check out the Powerful Women Rising Connection Network. Looking for deeper support, a place to think things through, get honest feedback, and stay focused as you grow? You can learn more about our masterminds through the links in the show notes. If you loved the episode, be sure to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. And until next time, keep rising, because building a business your way really is the best way.